So I want to talk about this client of mine. Oh, there's a hole. I want to talk about this client of mine who I've been working with for, um, several years as a massage client. And then in 2020, when I launched my energy guidance, transformational guidance work that I do with people, she was probably the first to jump in. And she didn't jump in because she had problems. She jumped in because she was curious, um, and she trusted me. We had a good rapport, so we came together probably once a month, and we would do the guidance work for about 30 to 40 minutes, and then we would do a massage. And it really, it started out with a bang, because I already, did know her a little bit, and she trusted me. So we would just suss out, what was going on at the moment in her life that we could take a look at, and I could teach her about how her energy had created that, or how a pattern in her had created an energetic signature to allow for various circumstances, and then what she could do, physical actions, um, mental constructs that she could do to shift her energy to elicit new responses. And a lot of times we would do some of the way I do parts work. We would do the parts work with her, and it continued to evolve, and it was just sort of delightful, sometimes profound, and she was having, cool outcomes with her family and work, and it was light and fun, and occasionally there was some intensity, but it was mostly light and fun. And then in the past year, some things came up that it was as what happened, it was as if we had just sort of gently soothed some layers of her that weren't too armored, and created enough safety in her that the deeper things, the things from deep childhood, and the things that were powerfully affecting her in almost hidden and insidious ways, because you don't know it because it's like part of your skin, those things were ready to be unearthed. And we had some really, really big sessions in the past 6, 7 months. And the wonderful thing about this client is that when she learns about a concept, if it resonates with her, she implements it. She does a daily practice of some sort that is fitting to her life. So in her case, she implemented doing some gentle stretching and breathing in the morning, which is likened to a meditation, but not quite a meditation. And she does visualization, and she literally visualizes her energy centers and her energy field, and has learned how to tweak energy in the world just by her feelings and her thoughts and her vibration. So, from small things like clearing traffic jams to big things like changing the paradigm for her adopted daughter to go from feeling insecure to secure, and all sorts of things in between. But some really big shifts have happened just in the past 3 or 4 months. And so among these are a lot of things having to do with work, because for her, work is sort of the main reflection of where she's at, vibrationally. And so one of the main things that happened is this project that she had been wanting to do. She works in a corporate healthcare situation. This project that she had been wanting to do, which would benefit the company, benefit the patients, benefit, all of the different entities involved, but could never get any traction on. Not only had she been invited to present a proposal for it, but in the past couple weeks, she got full approval without even having to petition extra or fight for it. She literally got the call that said, yeah, you're good, go for it. Whatever you need, we've got it. Vice president of the company said, here, free license, take this and run. Another cool thing that's happened for her is that she went from having a team of people working under her who were rather dispassionate, not the most competent, certainly not the most joyous to spend time with. Not by doing anything physically, not by getting them fired, not by causing problems in the workplace, not by having confrontations, by shifting her own vibration through the work that she did with me to create more harmoniousness in her inner community of parts. She was able to observe and now enjoy a whole new host of employees who are enthusiastic, competent, good-natured, and now she has the ability to use her dharma. Her dharma, she's got a warrior dharma, and her dharma was being used to put out fires, which wasn't really fulfilling and actually exhausting. And now she can use her dharma to create solutions and create new opportunities. And when she is needed to solve a problem, it's a problem that feels meaningful to her to create a solution for, because she's got all these other people that are now a vibrational match to her that enable her. They take care of all that other stuff, and they enable her to have the elbow room to really live into her dharma. And finally, there was one last kind of, one last person in that department who was, rather negative, causing a lot of internal problems and delay and, unpleasantness and inefficiency, all sorts of different things. And my client, by way of her energy field, because she came in one day fresh off of a conflict with this woman, we worked through what part in her attracts that person's energy. And by working with the part in her that had an attraction point for that person's energy, the outcome was, first, that person got suspended, not because of my client, because of something this other employee did that the higher up supervisor suspended her for. So the first outcome was she was no longer in the office for a period of time. And then the next outcome was, since she has come back to the office, and I think it's been about 4 or 5 weeks since she's come back to the office, she has been pleasant, competent, balanced, and seemingly at ease. And there seems to be harmoniousness. And my client delights in not only is she delighting more in her workplace, like quite a bit, but she also delights in observing these outcomes, because how I have taught her about energy, she now knows that these outcomes are a byproduct of her energetic signature, which is created by her patterns, her parts that have been deposited in her over time, some from childhood and how passed over time, some probably ancestral, some cultural, you know, there's all sorts. And now she understands. And so when we work together, when we work through these things, it's so immediate for her. You know, she does the work with me. She's been doing the work with me mostly monthly for about 3 years, sometimes a little bit more than monthly if we're really getting into something. And then she goes home and she does the work. But it's not work, it's a labor of love. It feeds her. These are daily practices that enable her to live her life in a way that feels enjoyable and on purpose. And the practices feel good to do, and the results feel good to experience. So I just feel so compelled to share her story, because this is the example of what happens when we stay with, when we stay with the labor of love that results in us adjusting our internal patterns and creating new patterns, new relationships with our parts, so that we create new energetic signatures, so that we attract different outcomes in the outer world. We are attracting everything that's happening to us and around us. It is not the world happening to us, it is us happening to us. So when we adjust, then everything else reorganizes around us. And I love watching her, and assisting her has been a great joy for me, because it's so fluid with her. She is so balanced and ready and willing to be at her best, to be on purpose, to live her life harmoniously, to be in her power. She is more in her power now than she's ever been. And she was pretty good, but she's really in her power. It's not like she's, she doesn't trumpet it. She's not bragging about it. She's just one step at a time, doing what she does, and letting the doors open for her, following her inspired impulses, and following the directions of energy. So I just am so excited to watch her unfolding, and I cannot help but want to share this, because I really, 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 truly believe that we can all change what's happening in our lives around us by changing what's happening within us. And it does take time, but this time is a labor of love. It does take persistence, but the persistence is the same kind of persistence as nourishing yourself with food, or taking walks every day. It's good persistence, and it does take a willingness to change, a willingness to be better, to evolve. So I'll leave you with this last thought. It came to me yesterday after my meditation: to evolve, dissolve, and resolve. And with that, I'll leave you be. I hope that this was inspiring to you. And I work with people in person, and I work with people via Zoom or whatever media we can use, and I am dedicated to helping us understand how the laws of energy affect us and how we can work with them to live more harmoniously as our own being and more harmoniously in the world. Transformation. I'm she of all things transformation. So please feel free to reach out, and let's see what we can do together. And if you like this video, if you got anything out of it, you know what to do. You just give it a like, you can comment, you can share, you can watch it again and see what you get out of it. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day.